A couple different things with you when it comes down to AMC stock. What's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBet Solutions, and if you are going to be asking the question, am I still holding AMC? I am still holding a little bit over 1,000 shares on the Webull trading platform. I want to talk about the good and the bad. This is a very open-ended video. If you're looking for a video to tell you where to buy or if you should buy, this video is definitely not it. I'm not ever here to encourage you to buy, to sell, or anything like that. I'm here to share my thought process on why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I hope that this video just gives you a better understanding of that and maybe gets you one step closer to your overall goal. So a lot of you guys know that AMC had its original rally, right? Peaked at highs of above $70 a share and has been selling off ever since. It established a support level right around $30 a share. A lot of people were beginning to lose hope, and then ever since its recovery, when it broke above the EMA line right around $34 a share, it broke above the SMA line on the 4-hour time frame, which was a great indication. You can see that time that it actually broke above the SMA line, we saw a huge breakout, and it nearly hit highs of $50. I'm going to talk to you on why I think that price point is so important. This is all technicals. There's no fundamentals here. AMC is not going up because it's fundamentally a good stock to invest in, right? There's two reasons. Technicals in the sense of we break above a very popular indicator and a very popular price point of $40 a share, and that leads to, again, a huge breakout, which leads to a potential resistance at around $50 a share, which has been a previous resistance before, as we can see back here. We experienced a pullback. It makes sense, right? It pushed up over 25% just on this day alone. We locked in profits. It pulled on back. It consolidated. It established the support level. Look at the MACD. Look at the RSI. All technicals, right? No fundamentals here. Pulled on back, consolidated, and began to make signs of a recovery. You can see that today alone. It pushed up 8%, after market hours 1.2%. It's already up 10% today alone. It was up 10% yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. And the days prior to that, it's been super bullish for the past 2 to 3 days, which is a great indication of a potential breakout. This is why I'm still holding 1,000 shares. I am holding 1,000 shares for the possibility of this thing breaking out above $50 a share, and AMC, again, begins to test previous resistance levels at $61 or $75. Now, am I still trading this with my Fidelity account? Am I still holding it with my Fidelity account? One of the things that I shared with the Learn Plan Prof group is I'm very open with when I'm trading it or when I'm holding it and what it is that I'm doing. This is with my Fidelity account. I announced that I wanted to buy the dip right as AMC pulled on back. I wanted to show you exactly when this was. I announced the pullback right as it pulled on back and began to test that $46 support level. It made sense, right? It pulled on back. It was making higher highs and higher lows. It was previously testing the SMA line, and based off of technicals, because that's all it's really working on, technicals and hype, right? For those that are holding for the movement. It pulled on back. It began to establish a support. I locked in profits, a majority of my profits up here, right? If you are part of LPP, you know that I always lock in profits, especially with my Fidelity account, which is a little bit more money. And again, I began to really load up on AMC. At 46.07, I bought 2,000 shares. It began to indicate signs of an uptrend. 1 minute later, bought another 2,000 shares. Again, a couple minutes later, it broke above $46.39, nearly $46.40, right? I bought another 1,500 shares. And then guess what? From 35 minutes to 1 minute, so a total of 34-minute trade, right, from start to finish, I sold everything, the 6,000 shares, at 47.10. I locked in profits. I chose to lock in profits after market hours. Now, I did that with my Fidelity account because I had so much money behind that trade, right? It's a very risky trade. And looking at AMC, I'm just explaining to you why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? So why is it with my Webull account with 1,000 shares, why am I willing to hold these shares but not hold my Fidelity account? At the end of the day, one of the things that you have to understand is that behind every trade, there is some form of risk. And it is our job as traders to, in some form of way, manage and mitigate that risk. And when it comes down to having a 6,000 share position, you can do the simple math, right? 6,000 shares times $47 of what that averages out to, right? I have a couple $100,000 in AMC. I am not comfortable to hold a couple $100,000 of AMC, but I am okay with holding, a little bit over $50,000. And that it all comes down to what it is that you're comfortable and what you can tolerate. I'm excited. I'm excited to see if AMC breaks above $50 a share, which is why I personally decided, even though I'm up $6,000 on the day, just on my Webull platform, I decided to hold. If it pulls on back, then guess what? I cannot be surprised if I take a hefty loss, right? From where we're at, we can't just talk about the good. If everyone is just talking about the good, then that should be a huge red flag. It has the potential to pull on back, and quite a bit, right? It has a 30% downside margin based off of previous support levels. So do the math. What does that, calculate or come out to be, right? But also, what's the upside, right? Let's not just talk about the upside, but let's talk about the downside. And now that we talked about the downside, yeah, there's great upside, which is why I'm choosing to only do this with 1,000 shares. I still understand that it's a great deal of money, right? But everyone trades with a different position size. When it comes down to these risky trades, more often than not, based off of previous resistance levels, there's a very common resistance level at $50 a share. This is why I did not hesitate to lock in profits. This was a very aggressive trade. This led to my total day, right, just on my Fidelity account, to make a little bit over $21,000. But again, I'm trading with a lot more money on my Fidelity account. With my Webull account, I'm okay with taking a little bit more risk, but with a much smaller dollar amount. That's where you mitigate risk, right? You put yourself in a position that you can tolerate. So if it does pull on back, yes, it is going to suck to give back some of my profits, but I'm doing it because of the upside versus downside. And I'm doing it with a position size in which I can tolerate. I'm not doing it because other people are telling me that I should hold AMC. I'm not doing it because I have no plan, right? You guys know firsthand, if you've ever watched any of my videos, I always encourage others to set up a plan. At the breakout above $50, I see there to be the next resistance level right around $60 a share. I would see there to be a very similar breakout like we went from, $40 nearly to highs of 50, where I can see if it does break above 50, we can go to nearly highs of 60. And guess what? It's already overbought. So if it goes up to nearly $60 a share, you really think I'm going to hesitate to lock in profits? I don't care what other people are saying. I don't care what other people are feeding you, right? With the idea that it can go to $100 or $1,000. I hope it does for your sake, right? If that's what you really want, I'm all for that. I wish you guys nothing but the best. I wish you nothing but prosperity, right? That's just not my style. I'm here to lock in profits, and I want to take advantage of an opportunity in a way that makes sense to me. I always have an exit plan. I know where I'm going to cut losses if it breaks below, and I do it with a dollar amount that I can tolerate. So if you want to day trade AMC, then day trade AMC and do it confidently. Do it with structure and understand that it's a very risky trade, especially at these overbought levels at $50 a share, right? Especially if you don't break above it. But if you're someone that wants to hold for the movement because you think that it's going to break to highs of 100 or 1,000 or 100,000, I don't even know what people are saying nowadays. All I know is that people think that, again, the short squeeze hasn't happened, that it's coming. I wish you nothing but the best, right? You will be someone that will either do extremely well in a once-in-a-lifetime type of trade and or have a horrible red trade. But that's the position that you're putting yourself in. So all I'm here to share is, with open arms. I am encouraging you and hoping nothing but the best. But I don't like to trade based off of hope. And I don't like to trade based off of hope with a lot of money on the line. So I'm here to share both the good and the bad. I wanted to talk to you guys about my, plan on why I locked in profits with a much larger dollar amount, but why I'm, again, willing to at least leave a little bit over 1,000 shares on the line for a potential breakout. I'm doing it in a way that makes sense to me, and that, yes, it is risky, but the upside still outweighs the downside. Just make sure that any opportunity that you choose to take advantage of, it makes sense to you, that you don't only think about the upside, that you don't only think about that it has to happen. That is such a hopeful and naive mindset. Make sure that you take into consideration both sides. If it were to go down to $30 a share, if it were to go down to $12 a share, what does that look like for you? We all know AMC fundamentally is not there. The CEOs, right? The CEO and the executives know that AMC is not there. It's the main reason they've been selling AMC. But this is a movement like no other. I've never seen anything like this. So guess what? I put some money on the line, and if it plays out well, I'll do pretty well. But if it doesn't, then guess what? I'm only putting a certain dollar amount in which I can tolerate. I'm sorry for being so repetitive. I just need it to make sense to you on having proper intention and position size when choosing to take advantage of a very risky setup. I'm looking forward to the breakout. I have my alert set, but also I'm prepared for a pullback. So if it does pull on back, then guess what? With my Fidelity account, I can buy the dip back at $30 a share, and I'd be happy to, ride the reversal once again. Never be afraid to lock in profits. All these people that are encouraging you to sell, at the end of the day, if you take a loss, they're not going to be paying your bills. So at the end of the day, make sure that you do what's best for your future self. Wanted to provide you guys with a clear update on my overall trade. Yes, this is a red trade, a green trade, my apologies, but I wanted to share with you my plan, my upside versus my downside, account size versus position size on my smaller account, and the overall setup. So I appreciate you guys' time. I hope that it earned your thumbs up. Feel free to share any of your open thoughts in the comment section. If you get upset based off of what it is that I say, I really don't know what to tell you. I'm not here to discourage you or to advise anyone to do anything. At the end of the day, it's so important that you just take initiative for the opportunities that you choose to take advantage of and hold yourself accountable. If other people don't agree with you, it doesn't mean that they're against you. It just means that, again, you have different plans, you have different intentions, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So if that does still bother you, then go outside, find the biggest rock, and kick it, right? And stub your toe, and yeah, I hope it hurts. But other than that, I hope that earned your thumbs up. Hope and wish you guys an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you guys for the live trading session tomorrow at Market Open. And if you guys want to join us, that's going to be that first link in the description. Until then, like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.